If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. Did I say free? There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. I personally like Google Podcasts a lot, but I also like Spotify. So any of those podcast sites, it will be distributed to. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And make sure you download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's that easy. Hello, and welcome back to March 31 Poetry. It's been a long time since I have come on here and shared some of my poetry with you, but I am relaunching March 31 Poetry in celebration of my 50th birthday is coming up in March, and so March 31st to be exact, that's the name of the podcast. But I also it's February and it's Black History Month, and so I thought let's kick it off and let's relaunch on February 1st. There's so many things happening in the world right now as far as justice is concerned, and Black history is always a part of that. African Americans and our struggle in America and around the world is always and has always been a part of that. It's always been a part of art. It's always been a part of poetry and writing. And so I thought it would be very appropriate to relaunch my March 31 Poetry podcast on February 1st. And I wanted to start with a series that I started doing a few years ago on and off, not consistently, unfortunately. But this year I hope to make it different. A few years ago I started a series called 28 Days of Poetry, because if you don't know, February is the shortest month of the year. There's lots of different reasons behind that. It's leap year. February is what creates a leap year, depending on which year it is. It also throws off my birthday quite a bit because this is a side note, but my birthday will sometimes appear and occur on Easter, which is very, very weird. But that's because of leap year. So whenever there's a leap year or an off year, my birthday might be, just as a part of March. But then it'll also be Easter might appear at the very end of March occasionally. I think it's been some years since that has happened. But yeah, like every 4 or 5 years that might happen. When there's a leap year. So anywho, off topic. So so February, I'm kicking off the 28 Days of Poetry again. So I'll use that hashtag on my social media. Please follow I have a Facebook writing group called Afro Rimo, kind of like NaNoWriMo, but Afro Rimo, AFROWRIMO. If you're interested in joining that group, please find us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/groups/AfroRimo. And stay tuned with the poetry. I'll post my podcast links there as well. So that's where I'll be using the hashtag 28 Days of Poetry and sharing that there. And I also have a Substack newsletter. And so if you sign up for that, you can get my content on a regular basis. That's where I'll also be posting my poetry. And so if you go to MFA over latte, the letters MFA over latte, LATTE.substack.com, you can subscribe to my newsletter there. And it's all about all things writing and my writing journey. And I'll be posting my poetry there too and sharing it there too. So let's get at it. So my poem for today, like I said, I'm launching the 28 Days of Poetry, but I'm also launching 6-word poetry, which is something I've never done before. So I'm going to do the 6-word. I'm just doing a challenge for myself. And today's poem is going to be as follows. To get justice. Reform, change, action. Again, that's my 6-word poetry for today. To get justice, reform, change, action. Again, follow me on Facebook. My group is called Afro Rimo. And also follow me on Substack at mfaoverlatte.substack.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for stopping by, and be sure to share my podcast with others. Peace.